Your heads up to this podcast. I'm not sure if it's a longer 5-minute quickie or a shorter podcast. I think it's probably a longer 5-minute quickie because I just want to put it out there. Have a listen. It's all about this thing called self-sabotage. And if you know, I don't like that term, but I'm going to teach you a way, break it down so simply that it never ever happens again. And you, like me, will believe it doesn't exist. You got to listen to this.
Warning.
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 Warning. You are entering into the unplugged mind of Paul Clough. Too late. Personal Development Unplugged.
Hey, how we doing, my little 5-minute quickers? You personal unplugged pluggers? Whatever that all means. Anyway, it's Paul. And this 5-minute quickie is, well, you know, if you've listened in the past to the podcast, and if you haven't, go back and listen to them, but you know that what it really gets me when people say, oh, I always sabotage myself. Oh, I'm a self-sabotager. It's as if they wear it like a badge of bloody honour. And that's what really gets me. It really gets my goat. Because it's a buzzy label that people use. And sometimes I believe because they use it as a badge of honour, they use it as an excuse. They use it as a skill. An excuse skill. Which is mad, isn't it? Really mad. I think it's really mad anyway. Now, I could be talking to someone who does that. Do you do that? Because I think we all do a little bit though. Even though I still don't believe it. But you see, I guess when I thought about this morning, and it was the early hours of this morning, it is sort of a real thing. Sort of. So you can see in my voice and that what I've just said is, I still don't get it, but I do get it. You see, I do believe that there are times when we just don't follow through, and there's a very good reason for that. Yeah, that's what it is. Sometimes we appear to do other things that stop us getting to that goal or the thing that we wanted to do. And I want to talk about those really good reasons. So sort of like why we actually sabotage ourselves. That we don't, but we do. But we do it unconsciously when it happens in real time. So what could be, let's think about this. What could be the reasons for not following through, for self-sabotaging? Well, I think they come into just two little groups, and they both have fear. Fear of failure and fear of success. So let's go a little bit deeper. Come with me, a little deeper. Let's think about this for a minute. Fear of failure. What happens? Well, we know we've got this reptilian brain of ours which is still working, looking after us from all the saber-toothed tigers and all the things that could go wrong in the forest and getting all this stuff that can go wrong anyway. And it's still working to protect us through thinking of everything that can go wrong and giving us fear in order, with a positive intention, obviously, to protect us. So we either work out ways that we can protect us or we run like hell. But we've got fight and flight anyway, people. Fight and flight, that's hardwired into our neurology. We can't stop it. It just happens. So we don't really need this fear now as a protective mechanism. You see, what tends to happen is, and we don't just do it thinking, oh, well, I wonder what could happen. Let's think about this. We don't. We go and see the worst possible things that could happen. And it's like our unconscious mind goes, what is the worst that could happen here? And then let's times it by 10, times it by 100, make it so big in all its colour, all the richness, all the pain. Because we get anxious. There's a pain in that fear, that anxiety of that failure, that possible failure. And we haven't even done anything yet. Yet our heart rate's increased. Everything is just all because we're thinking of the very, 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 that, and even more varies, worst that could happen to us. So that's one reason. Because if you imagine you're thinking of something to do, you think of the very, 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 very worst that could happen. In all its richness, you see going out there into all the ramifications that might happen in 5, 1 stereophonic, 3D, 4D colour movie. And we're going to say, do you know what? This is too much. And we'll back away, because then when we back away, our anxiety goes down. And sitting down doing nothing is less anxious than doing it. There's like a conflict in there, I guess, because we really want it. We really want that. And now we're getting anxious that we're not doing it. But when we want to think about doing it, we get anxious again. Not really helping, is it? So that's one reason, I think, why we could self-sabotage. Let's take it seriously. We are not following through for a wonderful, wonderful intention, but just the behaviors of what we do and the way we play it in our mind and those internal representations and that change our state, change our physiology, and therefore change our behaviors. All for that wonderful intention. But then you've got the fear of success. How can you have fear of success, Paul? Don't be daft. Well, yeah, of course we can. Because you think there's that belief that we might get when we start thinking about it, saying, well, I don't deserve this. What have I done to deserve this? Maybe I've got a group of peers and I'm going to be moving away from them. So not only will I be losing my peers, but also, why should I be entitled to have this? Because I'm no better than them. We see that so many times in families where one person is moving forward, doing something, changing, yet they automatically pull themselves back because they don't feel worthy of having it, having more. I'm not good enough. They'll find out. They'll find out I'm an imposter. The old imposter thing. I'll lose all my friends. They're going to find out I'm not good enough. I'm not worthy of this. And then again, we play all that out in our wonderful mind, our wonderful colour, colourful movies, stereophonic sounds, and get that feeling. And those feelings could be of guilt, of sadness, of loneliness, all for the wonderful intention to making sure that if you're going to do this, you do it right. But again, because of that, we do something else. So those internal representations, again, change our state, maybe slightly differently, change our emotions, which change our physiology, which eventually changes our behaviour into not doing it. Pretty depressive stuff, that, isn't it? All for wonderful intention. Your old unconscious mind, your very best friend, is doing its best for you with that little bit of reptilian brain and all the other wonders it has. But what can we do? Well, we could do something which is awesome. Do it basically the exact same thing, but slightly different. First of all you have to do is find out your why. What are you talking about, Paul? Find out your why. Why is this particular thing important to me? Because when you find out why is important and you get enough whys, and the most important thing about the whys are that they're positive. So if you find all the positive whys that this is important to you, the hows will just come along. So you've got the whys and the hows. Because the how will just become, well, it'll just come intuitively to you. Opportunities will come intuitively to you because it'll become so important. Because then you'll be so motivated to do it, you will then begin to only focus on what you want. And your unconscious mind goes, this is why it's important. Because you're going to get this and you're going to get that. But then we add to it because we don't want to suddenly go back into the fear of failure, fear of success. We want to visualize it. Visualize it in all its richness. Again, using that wonderful 8D, if you can go that far, movie, panoramic, with the wonderful stereophonic sounds, the sensations, the things you'll feel. So let's go through it in LP terms. We call it VACOG. What a weird thing. It's just really a set of initials. Visual, auditory, kinesthetic, olfactory, and gustatory. So basically, see it. See what you'll get in all its richness. Hear all the things you'll hear in all its wonder. Smell the taste of success. Taste it. Taste that success. And with all that, feel the feelings of what you'll actually feel. And make sure it's just the way you want it. So you then know really all those whys are aligned because they're true. This is why it's so important to me. And this is what it's going to allow me to feel and be and have. Because you see, when you visualize it in this richness, your unconscious mind doesn't know the difference between this imagined real and a real. And it goes, this is what we really want. And as long as you always step out of that imaginary visualization of what you're going to get, your unconscious mind knows now this is the direction we're going to go. And with all that, you will then able to do all the other things that you need to do to get those goals. You're going to use the 5 keys to success. I'm not going to explain that just now. You can go and search that in the past podcasts. I've done it quite a few times. I've even got a hypnosis track on it. And it's an NLP process, but it's under the hypnosis tracks. Where do you get them? Well, you go to paulcloughonline.com/podcast. Sign up, boom. You get them all. You've also got a well-formed outcome. Hey, guess what? We've talked about that, and that's also in the hypnosis tracks. So you can use this, but now you've got the foundation of why you want it and what the result's going to be and look like and feel like. So that fear of failure goes away because you're not going to make it worse than it is. You're going to make it as good and as best as it could be. The fear of success, you know what it's going to feel like, and you're going to make sure that this does going to be feel worthy. I do deserve this. And you're going to see all your friends there because you're going to make sure they're still there, because that's what a well-formed outcome does. You make sure you mitigate the things you're going to lose. If they're the things you want to keep, you mitigate them. Other things you'll lose anyway, such as the fear of failure, the fear of success, all that anxiety. Now, if you want to really know how this anxiety works, for that positive intention, but it goes all askew. Why don't you just go to paulcloughonline.com, the very first page, the landing page as it were. Sign up there and it's Free Your Life of Anxiety program. First 5 days are absolutely free. But hey, have a listen to this and it'll tell you all about it. Do you worry? Do you worry about things going wrong all the time? Do you have stress in your life? Do you get anxious about things? Do you have panic attacks? Do you think about the worst that could happen? Do you wake up in the morning and think of, what another bloody horrible day, and I'm worried about things? Do you even get sick when you think about things? Do you get that funny feeling in the pit of your stomach? Have you had it when, it just doesn't seem to go away? It's always there. Sometimes it gets bigger, but it's always there, isn't it? But if it is, and you do suffer from worry, and you do suffer from anxiety, do you know what? Great. Why do you say that, Paul? Well, it's great because I've got something for you. And I've got something for you which is completely different. Different to, the way other people work with this, because a lot of people work with your stress, your anxiety, your worries, and that doesn't work. The reason it doesn't work is because they're putting a plaster over the thing but basically it's just the effect. Why work on the effect? Because if you just work on that and it disappears for a bit and it comes back for a bit and it goes again and gets worse, all it means is you're not treating, you're not working with, you're not letting go of the thing that's actually causing you to feel this way. And the thing is, you don't have to feel this way. And that's the beauty and the magic of the way I work, is because I know, and I truly know, and I believe that you can change so quickly. It doesn't have to be ages and ages. And I know that, if you've got the will to do whatever it takes, and that's all you need. You don't have to believe in what I'm saying. You just have to have the will to do whatever it takes and want to have a life of just being comfortable. Maybe a life of being excited, waking up in the morning and going, today's going to be okay. I'm looking forward to it. That's the difference. Because the way I work is not a plaster. It's not a band-aid that you put over that cut of stress, anxiety or worry, because it doesn't get better that way. I've developed some real deep hypnosis, some processes that I put into deep hypnosis for you to deal with the things that's causing your stress, your anxiety, and get you to be different. And that's it. But not just be different my way, be different in the way that you want to be. So if you've got the will to do whatever it takes and you know how you want to be, they're the only two things, nothing more. So if you're really interested in that, just sign up. Now, the first 5 days are absolutely free, because I don't want you working with me if you're not, if you don't feel comfortable with me and what I say. And the first 5 days really explain to you what's going on in your world. It explains to you why this thing is happening to you. And there's some weird concepts in there. Well, they're weird because they're not the way other people deal with it. And they explain what your unconscious mind is trying to do for you in a positive way. And people don't explain that. They just push against it. And when you push against it, your unconscious mind just pushes back and things get worse. I know this, that if you go back in time, so maybe just a couple of years ago, the anxious feeling that you have now is less then. And if you go back even further, it was less then. But like a snowball, it's got bigger and bigger over time. So now it is, in your life, big. And that's what happens. And when we pluck out that root, the root cause of the weed of stress and anxiety and panic, it has to disappear and you get your life back. Then after that, we go into the full course. And there's some wonderful deep hypnosis. Really creative. I've developed the processes just for you. So if you're interested, say the first 5 days are free. After that, money back guarantee. All you've got to lose is, your stress, your anxiety, your worry, your fears, all of that. So join me by signing up, go through those first 5 days, make sure it's just right for you. And if it is, and I think it will be, we'll work together at a deep unconscious level and get what you want. And if you know what you want, and I know you do, sometimes it's difficult because it's been such a long time, but deep down you know how you want to feel. Maybe it's that, that old you, the real you. You want them back, don't you? Get rid of this stuff and be the old you again. Okay. Don't want to say any more. Sign up and I'll see you later. There you go. A plug. But it's a plug. Nevertheless, it tells you everything in those 5 days. What is happening, why it's happening, the psychology of what's happening. So then you can decide whether you want to take the program or not. Hey, you've got a real understanding. What have you got to lose other than your anxiety, your fears? Hey, that can't be bad. And even if you signed onto the program, you'll know there's a money back guarantee. So again, you've got nothing to lose other than finding out about fear, anxiety, and letting it go. And there's so much more on Paul Clough Online as well. Have a little look. There's some hypnosis tracks, some real good processes. Things that I've made very, very special, very niche, as it were. They may just get your senses going. You may find they resonate with you and you'll feel it's and see it's the right thing to do. But if you don't, hey, come to the podcast and just keep working and making sure that you have success. And this, you'll get a real handle on this thing called self-sabotage. You'll realize it is an excuse because now we have the tools to ensure that you can have that success, because that is what all this personal development unplugged podcast is about. Breaking down the myths, the things that people make complicated and breaking it down to things that are just so, well, they're not necessarily easy, but they're not difficult. They take oomph. You have to put yourself in it. You have to do the work. But the results for putting in the effort, the return on the investment is massive. I just know. You just make those differences. And even if it was 1% difference, that build upon will make a massive change to your life and the lives of other people around you, because they'll get it. You'll be that inspiration. You'll be that example of what is possible. They'll ask you about it and you can say, hey, all the tools are here at Personal Development Unplugged. You can share the podcast. You can do all that. Please do share, because when you share it, well, it grows the audience, which makes it more popular, obviously, and that's what we want. But when people get to listen to this and start doing this, you're making a difference, because they're going to make a difference and we're all going to make a difference. So please do that. Please share. Please subscribe, because if you subscribe to things like iTunes, Castbox and things like that, it's going to make the show more popular, if you can call it a show. And we share our tools, we share our ways of creating the world we want to live in and the world you want to live in yourself. So please do that. And if you want to put a little review, I'd love you to put a little review. Please do. Again, that helps share this podcast, moves it up the rankings, which makes it more popular, which gets more people to look at it. And it's more about not my ego making it popular, but making it popular that in a way that people get to access the tools, access that hypnosis, making sure that they feel worthy, they're good enough, and get what they really deserve. And you get what you deserve. Hey, that's it. That's my little soapbox over. I nearly fell off that then. I'm going to see you next time, and you'll hear from me next time. And by the way, the links to these will be on the website. I have a website called personaldevelopmentunplugged.com. That's where you can find all of these podcasts and links to other things. They'll be in the show notes there. And I think the show notes in iTunes and things like that, there'll be the links there too. So you can get it all as one. I'll make sure I do that. Okay? Have more fun than you can stand. And I'm not going to remind your unconscious mind to surprise you by feeling happy for no reason. See you now. So, the 90 seconds of hypnosis tracks. Why have I put hypnosis tracks on a separate website? Well, it's so simple really. I wanted you to have them all in one place, so you can look through them all. You can find the particular one you want. I've even made them downloadable, so you can put them on any of your playing devices that you prefer. You don't need Wi-Fi, you don't need the iTunes or whatever. You can put them anywhere you like. You can even burn them onto disk if you want. Where do you get them? Well, there you go. I told you, it's paulcloughonline.com/podcast. If you're worried about your email address, please don't be, because they stay totally safe with me. I only use them to send you out that email and give you access. Simple as that. I send you a link, a special link, so you and only you can access those hypnosis tracks, because I want them just for you. And the other thing about this is you've taken responsibility. I don't want to make these open to everyone, just random. You have taken responsibility to listen and be part of this community of personal development. And I want to help you. I want to help you personally to get your dreams, your goals. And therefore, I'm giving you these tools, these protocols, these paradigms, whatever you want to call them, but in deep hypnosis. So just enjoy. Have more fun than you can stand with hypnosis.
Warning, you are now leaving the unplugged mind of Paul Clough. It's time to fly on your own. Be brave, my friend.
Personal Development Unplugged.